Often when working with voiceovers in audio, you'll need to get rid of some background noise that's messing up the sound and making it sound generally unprofessional. So what you can do is use Adobe Audition's noise removal to actually solve all of that problem for you. Maybe you've been recording and some background noise outside, or laptop has kind of spun up its fans and made a bunch of noise over your recording you want to get rid of. Well, you can kind of solve all of that, which is great. So what you do is, first off, you find a sample of noise, what we call the noise print. So what you do is you find a space. So usually I leave a bit of time at the end of a recording with just a mic on and no vocal to allow for that background noise to be kind of uninterrupted. So that's what you want to find. So when you look at your sound file, I've got some at the end of this recording here with a bit of uninterrupted background noise, and it sounds like this. And I can use that to capture what we call the noise print and then apply that to noise reduction. So I can select that and I will make a noise print out of it. So to bring up the noise reduction panel, you use Command Shift and P on the keyboard, or Control Shift P on PC. And having selected that part, I can just click this Capture Noise Print button. That's then done. Then I want to apply this to my whole file, but what I'll do is check my settings first. So I'm going to look around for places that I know the noise is quite bad to just see a fairly indicative idea of whether this is actually a success or not. So I'm going to click onto this part where I can see another gap in the audio, and I can see that the noise is gone. I can check what it was like before by switching on the green button, or switching off the green button, I should say, to untoggle the effect that I'm about to apply. And you can see there's a lot of noise there. So if I switch it back on, the noise is gone, which is perfect. So you might be wondering, what about all of these settings? Well, typically what I do is I just start by cranking everything up to the max and see if it's a good result for me. And in most cases, this actually works out pretty well. So in this instance, I've cranked up noise reduction, both in terms of the percentage and the decibel level to 100. My spectral decay rate is at 0 because I don't want any noise fall off. Smoothing is at 1024, which is the max for that. And you can read by hovering all of these, the different tooltips. I'm not going to dwell on that for now. So basically, you want to apply your noise reduction ideally to the whole file. Hopefully your noise has been consistent. And one little tip for capturing the noise print is to make sure that you're selecting a consistent part. If you've selected a part which has got a bunch of different stuff happening in the background, for example, that one, you can hear, a few clicks and pops. Maybe there is noise in the background, and maybe you've kind of rustled and banged the table and a couple of other things. Don't use that as your noise capture. Try and find an uninterrupted noise print. So this little section here, or the one I already captured, either of those will work great. But then when you're about to apply, select the entire file. There's a button for that, a little shortcut there. Select the entire file, and you can double check that by zooming out to full. Yes, everything's now selected, and I can just hit apply, and it will run the process of removing the noise. So now when I listen, mostly the noise is gone from the background. If I want to be really super, super picky, then I can go through and do all of the manual work of actually silencing all of those areas. But the key part we've done with noise removal is to actually remove the noise during the speech as well.
Dripping taps.
So now we don't have any of that noise going on underneath the vocal, which we can't remove like we can by just reducing these. So being that I'm kind of a perfectionist, I'll then go through and actually reduce all of this. I'll drag the little volume slider, this floating thing, down to -96, which is the maximum. Then I'll go through and do Command and R or Control R to repeat the last action over any of these areas. And I'll keep an eye on my display at the bottom here for anything that might be perceivably still noisy. And I can also use that to get rid of any kind of additional intakes of breath at the start of a sentence, like this one I can see is an intake of breath. And I can just get rid of that, or do the whole section so that it's totally consistent. And I go through that, and then I save, and that's pretty much it. So that's how I clean up a track in Adobe Audition for noise removal. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.